Hey guys, what's up? So I have some exciting news for you all. I just got back from a hotel that I live near and I got a job there. So it is a graveyard shift, so it won't interfere with Lagoon or anything like that. So I've pretty much got, my day free. I will admit I'm gonna be extremely tired and probably have less time than I already do to make videos or broadcast or any of that, so I'm going to try and broadcast as often as I can before I actually get going. I have about a week and a half left of school. I've got my finals and I'm done, so I'm not too concerned about that. So it's really exciting. I know, like I said, I'm going to be super tired, but in the end I know it's going to be worth it. The interview literally only took about 5 minutes because, my friend was like, I basically already know who you are. I know that you work, I know that you've got good customer service, all of that stuff. And she's like, so, pretty quick interview. So, I think it was yesterday. No, it was 2 nights ago. So I was looking at my phone and I was like, because there's this huge crack through it, okay? And I'm like, are you serious? And I'm like, great, I cracked my phone. And I have a glass screen protector over it. And so I was like, please just be the protector, and so you could run your finger over it and kind of feel that it kind of had a little dip in it. I was like, oh, thank goodness. So I went and blew $40 on a new screen yesterday. Well, not screen, but screen protector. So that's fun. And I've debated getting a new phone case, which, let's see if I can. So here's my phone. The back of it has this part right here, which is a magnet that connects. That's how I mount it when I'm broadcasting when I'm driving, if that makes any sense. So if I got a new case, it wouldn't have that on it because I didn't stick it. The case is too thick for me to just stick it on my phone. Like, the case wouldn't go back on, so that's why it's on the actual case itself. But I've got a pretty good case, so protects the phone. So that's shout out to my friend Dave because it's his birthday today. Mine's next Thursday, so woohoo, I'm gonna be 20, guys. Ew, I have a story I can tell you now. Okay, so this random dude, I don't know who he is. He shows up on Facebook, starts messaging me, we're not friends, don't have any mutual friends or anything. He's just like, send me a picture. You're hot. And I'm like, because he looks old, and I was like, how old are you? That's all I said to him, And he's like, well, at the moment. And he's like, old enough. How old are you? I'm like, that's not what I asked. And he's all, I'm ugly. I'm like, that's not what I asked. How old are you? And finally he's like, I'm 40. How about you? And I was like, ooh, shudder. No. And I'm like, my age, I can't exactly remember what I said, but I was like, it's not relevant. You're too old for me. So just know I'm of age, but I'm not going to disclose how old I am. But dude, no. Where do all these creeper people come from? I don't understand. And if you're friends with me, real life, Facebook, whatever, you know that my real name is unique. It's kind of weird. My name on Facebook is even weirder. And so people who find me out of the blue, it baffles me. I'm like, how did you find me? Did you just randomly type in my whole long fake name? Okay, it's 63 degrees out. Yeah, so what was it, last week and a half ago? It was snowing in Utah. And a lot of you guys actually messaged me and were like, so it's actually snowing there? Yeah, it snowed. And I'm thinking I got sick because of it. I was really sick. God, cutting close to my cough. Anyway, so yeah, I got really sick and I was thinking that, because of the weather, it changed so quickly. I'm not really sure. I'm still not sure what it was. I mean, I feel fine now. My nose still gets a little bit stuffy, but I'm thinking that's just allergies. I took NyQuil, the severe cold and flu, which that stuff knocks you out. If you've had it, it just knocks you out like no other. So I took that, and big mistake, because I had work the next morning at 8, right? I slept through it, and my grandma comes in the next morning, and she was on the phone, and she's like, do you need gas? And I was like, why are you up so early? Why are you on the phone? And I was like, it just hit me. And I jumped out of bed and I was like, what time is it? And I looked at my phone, it was 10:30, and I was like, oh my gosh. And I flipped out, and so the first thing I do is grab my phone, I call him, and I'm which, you know, was weird because they didn't call me, like, where are you? So I called them, I was like, oh my gosh, I'm so sorry, like, I can come in, I can be there in like 10 minutes, like, just throw in my clothes. Like, I was already running out the door by the time I'd called them. And they're like, oh, hang on one second. And they're like, oh, we filled your spot. And I was like, way to go. But that same day, my dear friends Nikki and Shay got married. Yes, they kept their napkin. It's so cute. Nikki looked like a princess. I loved it. I have some videos that I took and a bunch of pictures, so I'm putting that together, making a video out of it. So I've been trying to render that, so hopefully if it wants to export finally, then I will put it up on YouTube and you guys can watch it. It was really cute. They had like a little photo booth, so there's some other photos. I don't know if you can see those. Kind of blurry. I'm just in the background, just being weird, you know, no big deal. And then we got one with everybody. Anyway, so it was a really cute wedding. Guys, I just found out Lee Bryce is coming to Park City. Oh, I want to go. So, you know, work's been good, school's been good. I did quit Dillard's. I still got my badge. But I quit just because it was overwhelming, and, you know, despite me telling them, hey, I have school these days and I can't work these times, they still schedule me for those times, and I was like, I can't come in, I have school, I can't miss school. And then, you know, my manager would be like, oh, why did I do that? But she did it so many times, and it was too much stress. Like, I was always angry, and I don't understand why. So I did have fun there. You know, $12 an hour was good. You know, I got paid every week, so that was pretty good. But it just turned out to not be worth it. Okay, I want your guys' advice. Nobody seems to want to answer this. So my hair, you guys know, I've left it alone for a year. I haven't touched it, I haven't cut it, I haven't dyed it, nothing. So I mean, it's growing, but it's because I'm taking some supplements, and which actually makes my eyebrows go caterpillary too, which is kind of sad. My nails grow out extra fast. But so I'm thinking about dyeing it or maybe cutting it, but it's kind of weird. Every time I go to a salon, I'll be like, hey, can I look at your colors, or, you know, whatever. And I'm like, let's do highlights, let's do black hair, let's do red hair, whatever. And then I'm like, ooh, and then I just walk out. Like, I can't bring myself to dye my hair. Is that weird? I'm not sure why. I think it's just because, you know, this is my natural hair color, and I haven't had it this color in so long. Like, I used to dye my hair probably 2 or 3 times a month. Like, not even kidding. I'd change it up so often, which is why, you know, one of the reasons why it wouldn't grow, and why it's, I mean, it's not so bad now, but it used to be so fried. People would be like, oh, you dyed your hair. You know, just kind of, oh, you dyed your hair again for the gazillionth time this year. So, you know, it wasn't really a shock to anyone when I went from, you know, my blonde and black hair to brown. Like, nobody really, you know, it wasn't a shock. But now, since I've had my hair, you know, this color for so long, a lot of people have only known me while I've had one color. And so I'll be like, yeah, like, it was back when I was blonde, or black when I had black, what? Back when I had whatever color, you know, and they're like, you were blonde? Like, yeah, I was blonde, and no, it didn't look good, but it took forever. Okay, so when I was in an abusive relationship, I'm not sure if I mentioned in that video whether or not, you know, like why exactly I had blonde hair. Well, he was so particular about how I looked, and he wanted my hair blonde so bad, okay, and he'd get mad if I dyed it any other color. So of course I went blonde, and I mean, every girl wants to be blonde in their life at least once, right? Because blondes have more fun. Well, yeah, so I went blonde, and it was weird, but that's kind of the story of it. And it took forever just because I had dark hair, and I had, right before that, I had box dyed hair, and it was black, which if you dyed your hair, or if you're a hairstylist or you know anything about hair, box dye is one of the worst things you can do to your hair. And if it's black, you're gonna have the worst time trying to go lighter. And so I bleached it. Sorry, I've got random stuff popping up on my phone. So I tried bleaching it with peroxide. I used Sun-In, which is just kind of like a lemon lightning spray. Tried dyeing it blonde. I used some toner. What else did I do? I did everything. I sat out in the sun for hours on end. Like, I did everything I could, and it took probably a good year for me to do it. Maybe a year and a half. I'm not even sure. But I kept at it, and finally my hair was blonde. And looking back now at pictures, because I was like, oh, I wasn't even that, oh, hello. I wasn't even that blonde, and I was like, my hair was like blonde. Like, I mean, you can tell, you know, my hair is pretty fried. You can definitely tell that my hair's grown though. I mean, I started taking these pills back in the summer of 2013. You know, now it's summer 2015. So, I mean, it hasn't grown a whole lot, but for me, it's quite the improvement. I don't have my cat eyes today, so it's kind of weird. So I have some sad news for you guys. Well, you guys know how much I love my cartilage piercing, right? And the first one I had sadly didn't heal, and after a year I just gave up and I was like, I'm just taking it out. And it was so devastating, and finally December came and I got it re-pierced, right? So I took my tragus out, I took my cartilage out, and finally got my cartilage re-pierced, just underneath. Well, the other day I was washing my hair in the sink. Long story, don't really remember why, but I was washing my hair in the sink and my hair got wrapped around the back of it, okay? And it pulled it. So anyway, what happened was the stud that was in it, the little diamond, got pulled through the back of my ear. Like, the stud went through my ear, the whole thing, okay? And I was like, oh no. So it was kind of just halfway hanging out. So I was like, what happens if I just, and so I pulled it, okay? And just to see if it would, you know, come out. Because at this point, I didn't know that the diamond was still attached, all right? So I just took it and pulled it. And then I felt it, and I could feel like the diamond like through my skin. And I was like, oh my gosh, this is still attached. Like, it is in my ear. It's, you know, what do I do? So I tried to get a hold of my piercer. The shop was closed because it was a Sunday, and it was, well, I mean, they were open, but they closed early that day. You know, all the doctor's offices were closed, and I was like, oh my gosh, what do I do? So I was sitting downstairs, and I just finally just pulled the whole thing through because I couldn't just let it was sticking out that far, you know, from my ear, and I can't sleep on it or anything like that because it's gonna get caught, it's gonna get worse. So that was not a fun experience. So maybe, I don't know if you can... Anyway, so it's gone. So I'm back down to 5 piercings. It's kind of weird because overall I've had, what, 5, 6, 7, 8 piercings. I had to take 3 of them out, which is kind of sad. I mean, this one I really didn't care about. I mean, I don't know if you guys remember it or if you saw, but it was huge and just irritating and not fun. So, you know, I've just got 2 in each lobe, and then I've got my belly button. So, also, last thing. If you guys know me, you know that I really like acidic fruits, especially lemons. And when I was younger, I got like addicted, I guess you could say, to eating them. And so I started eating them all the time and drinking this lemon juice, and it's eroded my enamel so bad, which I think is why it chipped right here, which is why my teeth look so goofy. Anyway, so yeah, my teeth chipped right there. So I've been using this new toothpaste, and it's kind of helped. I mean, obviously you can't get your enamel back. Once it's gone, it's gone. But it's kind of helped to shield from the sensitivity, you know, so it's like I bit into a popsicle yesterday and it actually didn't hurt as bad as it normally would. So I think it's helping. But if you guys have any toothpaste, or, you know, if you're dealing with the same thing, anything that helps, comment, let me know. I guess I'm gonna go get a car wash and I'm gonna try and broadcast. So I love you guys and I'll talk to you later. Bye.